Hi, welcome back to my channel, and I am so sorry that I sound like this. Unfortunately, I am sick for our Academy Awards of the year. Yes, some people hate the Goodreads Choice Awards, some people love to hate the Goodreads Choice Awards, but what other awards do us bookish guys and gals have to look forward to and gets voted? I don't know. If there are other ones, let me know, because I live for this kind of stuff. I am going to look through the results with you. Last year, I tried to read all of the books that were in the fantasy category that I had that were special editions. It was revenge of the special editions. This year, I've been able to read about half the books I did last year because I spent that time making videos, which turns out to take a lot of time. Who knew? And also, I subscribed to 5 times as many book boxes as I did back then. So let's see what it looks like. Also, still bitter that there are no children's and middle grade categories or graphic novel categories, hoping that they will bring them back. Here are Cry Goodreads, but let's see what's up. I'm really excited to see what they've chosen. I'll take a peek at all of the categories, but there are some that I'm just really not qualified to say much of anything on. All right, fiction. We've got Intermezzo, which I just got from Book of the Month. I have never read Sally Rooney. Yeah, there is a confession you weren't expecting, I'm sure. I just read Elin Hilderman's first book, and it was kind of racist, y'all. But I'm sure she's evolved. It was from 20 something years ago, so I've never heard of that one. Oh, I did just buy Real Americans by Rachel Khong. I'm trying to expand my horizons and get more diverse authors. So maybe Goodreads heard us and they're trying to pull in the same. Never heard of. Oh, Lane Moriarty. Here One Moment is in fiction, not mystery thriller. Okay, I want to read that. I have it. Cool. Welcome to the Hyunam Dong Bookshop. Anything with the word bookshop, and I'm perked. Murder! Exclamation point. Oh dear. The Wedding People. I do have that, and I do want to read it. Sandwich. These are just such fun titles. All Fours. I never heard of it. Same as It Ever Was. Why does that look so intriguing? Colored Television, I heard such good things about. I just joined Aardvark, and just 6 months ago. Time flies when you're miserable. They sold out so fast on that book. I really do want to read it. I've heard nothing but incredible things. I did get Blue Sisters, and I've never read Dolly Alderton, but I just bought 2 of her books. I think I need to start with either Ghosts or that one where she gives advice. So I just bought those 2 because I'm I feel like you're gonna comfort me, and I feel like I'm gonna need it. So, and Wandering Stars, never heard of it. Historical fiction, I fell off the map this year, so I'm gonna have heard of nothing. Haven't heard of. Oh no, I have heard of, and I want to buy the pretty copy with the foiling. The Lion Women of Tehran is definitely on my TBR, but I know I need to be emotionally stable to read it. I just read my first Kristen Hanna for Sukapathon, and this book is the reason I couldn't film a review of The Nightingale. It was so devastating, and I was just so emotionally unstable, and then forget the rest of the week. Anyway, The Women, I heard really good things about this, and then I also heard it wasn't her best, but The Nightingale was flawless. So how do you beat flawless? The Bullet, nope. Kate Quinn, she's such a staple. She does do World War II historical fiction really well, but I heard this is a little bit of a departure, and it's a really good one, so I'm very curious and excited. I heard The Frozen River's amazing. Oh, I just picked up this Jodi Picoult one. I was so surprised to see her doing historical fiction. This is a dual timeline. One woman is Shakespeare, but she needs a man to hand in the manuscripts. Manuscripts. Light bulb moment for me. And then another one in the future who doesn't know she's the descendant of this woman is in a similar situation where she needs a man's name for credibility, something like that. I just got it. I'm excited to read it. Behind Every Good Man. Are we having a theme? Never heard of it. James. This just got shortlisted for the Booker Award. I need to read this book if you haven't heard of it. Aardvark made this one of their picks. They are killing it this year. This is a retelling of Huckleberry Finn, but told from the escaping slave's point of view, and it is supposed to be brilliant. I also got from them The Seventh Veil of Salome. I am dying to read this. Sylvia Moreno Garcia usually does more horror, so I'm so excited to be able to read something else by her, because earlier this year I read The Gods of Jade and Gold and just loved it. And then I looked at the rest of her stuff and I was like, Mexican Gothic. Ooh. So, Book Lovers Library, well, that sounds appropriate for me. I've seen this one around, Anita Damonte, but I have not read it. I did pick up Husbands and Lovers. I feel like I've seen The Great Divide. I haven't read it. The Phoenix Crown by Kate Quinn, who's killing it this year apparently. And Janie Chang, that looks curious. I'm interested in that one. And then I think I have The Love Elixir of Augusta Stern. If I recall correctly, it was a little more like magical realism. So, interesting. All right, mystery thriller. I went out and bought a bunch of books that I think are gonna make this. I know we're gonna see like First Lie Wins, Listen for the Lie. I wonder if we're gonna see the new Ruth Ware. She's gonna make it back on the list. We're definitely gonna see maybe God of the Woods. I hope we're gonna see How to Solve Your Own Murder, but I don't know if it's like too controversial. I don't know, we'll see. I wonder if we're gonna see the new Richard Osman, and then, or Osman, however you say his last name. I don't know what else we're gonna see. The new Lucy Foley's out, probably that one. Megan Miranda has a new one out. Let's just see. How to Solve Your Own Murder made it! That was like, I did not think that one was, but it did it. Okay, good. The Night We Lost Him. Let's start pulling these. This is the same author of The Last Thing He Told Me, which is not like my favorite, but it was so different for a thriller. And anytime someone does something super different, I love that. Like, I love that. And is this a continuation? No, it looks like this is a totally different story. And it's just as the book describes. It's like suspense, but it's very like heavily family centered. You're gonna get a lot of like relationship stuff. It's like Love Actually with peril and potential murder. And usually someone disappears. So this could be really fun. Next is The Midnight Feast. Definitely excited for this one. So this is one of those, everyone's gathered together at this resort, and then there's like murder there, and there's the clash between the town and then everyone who's really wealthy at this resort, and then there's rumors that like the forest is haunted around the resort. Lucy Foley is usually like a really solid choice for me, and I've read a ton by her, so feel very confident I will enjoy this book. Now what she seems. There's always got to be one I've never even seen before or heard of. Spooky cover. Okay. Harris. Yes, I want to read this. I swear to you, I own this book. It's either misshelved or I'm losing it. But does this mean I don't have to read it? Okay, The Last One at the Wedding. I just don't think this author is for me based on like past reviews. Hidden Pictures, like I heard pretty in-depth reviews and I think he's too much for me. And I also didn't like what I heard about some of the representation in that book. So next up, Sally Hepworth, Darling Girls. It's about three girls who like lived on a farm together, and then like supposedly it wasn't as idyllic because the woman who raised them I think was a little abusive, and then like a body shows up like under the house where they were raised. So who is it? Who did it? Don't know. Fun times. But Sally Hepworth is usually a pretty good writer for me. There's a Richard Osman. I knew you were gonna be there. I'm so excited he's starting a new series. I was like, are we gonna be forever with the Thursday Murder Club? Not that that would make me like sad. Let's see who our new people are. We've got Steve Wheeler, who's enjoying retired life, and Amy Wheeler, who thinks adrenaline is good for the soul. And now it's time to see if they can outrun and outsmart a killer. Oh, I love it. New to prose, not surprised. I did not enjoy The Maid very much. I just don't think I like her writing. Okay, Frida McFadden. Oh, are we gonna snub The Housemaid finally? I did not enjoy that series, but I'm curious to see if it's her writing or if it was just like the character I didn't click with, because I don't know. Everyone loves her so much, and I feel like, what am I missing? Like, what am I missing? So I did pick up her 2 new standalones. I got most of them during the Target buy 2, get 1 free sale or their book of the month. That is literally how I got like all of them. Society Flies! I totally have this too! This is a little different. This is about Maya who's going back to Princeton for like a college reunion, and now her sister's part of a secret society that she was in, and she's like, oh no girl, it's not what it seems. Get out! Oh, there's Listen for the Lie. That was so good. Oh, I loved it so much. Okay, next up we have House of Glass. Book of the month is really coming through for me. This is going to be the first Sarah Pekkanen that I read without Greer Hendricks. Greer's not writing on her own, is she? Like, why did they split? They were so good together. And I've heard it's just not the same, like, now that they've split, but we'll see. This is about a 9-year-old who witnesses the death of her nanny, apparently, but they live in this really weird house where there's no glass. Everything's made of plastic, apparently. I mean, I just shattered something the other week, and like, it's not the worst idea. You know when you drop a glass and you're like, no, dogs, get away, and they're gonna come running at you. Love that so much. Middle of the night, Riley Sager's always on here. Oh, home is where the bodies are. I have seen this book everywhere, and the title just scares me away, you know? Like, no thank you. All the colors of the dark. This I thought was gonna be in historical fiction. This is a chunky book, y'all. This was on my historical fiction shelf. This is like 1975 and the Vietnam War. But we do have a missing person mystery, a serial killer thriller, a love story, and a unique twist on each. All right. It takes place in 1975, so I shelved it with my historical fiction because it's like post-Vietnam War, like dealing with the aftermath. But okay. All right. Big one. Next up we have Spread the Love. Like, didn't she win last year too? Like, or the year before? Can we not? I hate it when they double up. Especially in this category. Like, you don't need to double up in this category. So, The Boyfriend. Honestly, if I had had to pick, I don't think I would have picked this one. Like, this just came out. I, like, just got this in a book box. So, I'm kind of surprised to see it here. I guess you don't need a certain amount of reviews. Technically, you just need a certain rating. You have to be over a 3.5, right? So, perfect boyfriend, and then a mystery man who dates his victims before he kills them. Fun. Okay. I assume she's worried it's her boyfriend. All right, let's see what's next. The God of the Woods. This is one that I've been wanting to read for a while. It takes place in 1975, kind of around the same time period as the other historical one. We've got a camper who goes missing, and her parents own the camp and all the land around it, and her brother also had gone missing like 10 years earlier, so sus. Very sus. I would be shocked if it hadn't been somewhere in the Goodreads Choice Awards. I just wasn't sure where they were gonna put it. First Eye wins! There it is! This was great. I don't have to read it because I read it and I really enjoyed it. Wait, did I only read 3 so far? And I read all of them during Summerween. Go Summerween TBR. And finally, oh, The Return of Ellie Black. I have it. This is about a girl who shows up 2 years after she disappeared, and like, she won't say where she's been, but like, she really needs to because now another girl is going missing in the same place, like where she disappeared. And of course, it's like traumatized detective, her own daughter went missing in the same place 20 years ago. You know, one of those. But Ruth Ware did not make it back on the list. This is like, once you get kicked off, you don't make it back on. I bought the right books. I also didn't read enough books. You guys, this tower. No, look at this. This is not okay. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, thrillers are fast reads, but can I handle that many thrillers in a row? Probably. There is not a chance I will be doing romance this year. I've never felt less romantic in my life. All right, first up. Oh, the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I am the only person in the world who did not love Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I still haven't read any Abby Jimenez. I'm gonna get kicked off booktube. I am so looking forward to Daydream. I loved Wildfire. I thought it was better than Icebreaker, so very excited for that. Bride? Ooh, no. Bride is Romantasy. Are you confused, Goodreads? You can't put Bride in here. I know it's Allie Hazelwood, but is this proof AI is doing this? Goodreads, go home. You're drunk. Lila Sage, I'm dying to finally get into. A love song for Ricky Wilde. I heard this was so good. I have it. Christina Lauren, I wanted to read this, never got to it. Catherine Center, someone just fire me. I don't get paid, so never mind. Kennedy Ryan, I do want to try. Oh, Casey McQuiston, I was so bummed I didn't love this. This summer will be different. I've given up on Carly Fullerton. Like, it's a little too predictable. Like, I don't feel like it's quite adult, but it's definitely not YA. Like, something is not clicking with me in this author. The Love of My Afterlife? Here it is. Here's the one I've never heard of. One in every category. There it is. Liz Tom Ford. How far along in this series? Every year, I just get to learn how far behind I am in the world of romance. I should give up. I'm not a romance reader, am I? Like, I have shelves of it. Do I even buy it anymore? Yes, I do. Emily Henry Funny Story. I love this so much. Wait, what? No, I didn't read this yet. Ah, crap. See, there. Allie Hazelwood. Not in love. That wasn't that YA? Guess not. Okay. How to End a Love Story. I have seen this everywhere lately. Ooh, if Reese picked it, I often enjoy it. But I heard it was sad. Am I wrong? Am I thinking of something else? King of Sloth. Anna Huang. Every year is on here. Every year I say, gee, I should read that series. And I'm just like, what is it, book 4 now? And forget it. I missed the boat. Wild Love. Oh, I am so excited to read this book. I have the prettiest copy from the insert, whichever company gave it to me here. Lies and Weddings. I kind of want to read this. Leather and Lark. I'm so afraid to read Butcher and Blackbird. Oh, and Butcher and Blackbird, like, it's in my unboxed pile, and yet I never showed it on camera, I don't think. And it's still in the cellophane, so I am just failing utterly. Okay, so here's the deal. Normally, this is where I'd say, here are all the books that I'm going to have to read if I have the pretty editions of them. There's now a romantasy category, a fantasy category, and the young adult fantasy. So I don't know if I can physically do this. We're going to see what I have. We're going to see if I want to do this or thrillers this year because I'm just in such a great mood and I've read so much fantasy lately. Maybe I've read more than I think. Okay. Let's see what we got. Let's look at romantasy where I stand a chance. Okay, A Crown's Cold and Heavy by Stasia Stark. I just got the first book in one of my book boxes. A Court This Cruel and Lovely. So I am excited to read that, but obviously I'm not gonna like read 3 books. A Promise of Peridot. I didn't bother buying the second and third book yet because I'm getting really nice editions of these from probably Smut that like last month. I have to unbox them in my next unboxing, so I'm so excited for this. I am so behind on JLA, and I'm never gonna vote for JLA. I mean, I love you, Jennifer L. Armitage. You're delightful, but I like the other series you're doing better than the original Blood and Ash series, so sorry. Unless that is the second series. Oh, it is a Flesh and Fire novel. Yeah, but I'm like a book behind, I think. Darn. I do like her second novels better, but I've read some really good romantasy this year, so. Like a Fate, Ink, and Blood. Okay. That was fantastic. Like, the Viking stuff, the Norse stuff, like, clearly that would be my vote so far. That was fantastic. Baybound was also amazing. Oh my gosh, it deserves to be on here. I didn't think it got enough buzz to make it. I'm so happy to see that on here. It was so good. Oh, I hope this gets more people to read it because I loved that book. And there's Esham, and we are not going to get the Esham Onyx Storm showdown. Are they going to alternate years on purpose? Are they going to deny us that forever? Oh, I'll be so mad. Blood of Hercules. That's a romantasy? Are we sure? Honey Witch. Here's my first one I'll have to read if I go this route. I really wanted to wait until next summer for the like atmospheric purposes, but this is like Isle of Innisfree, witch who can just one rule, cannot fall in love. Gorgeous girl shows up who does not believe in magic. What's a witch to do but prove her wrong? This edition, love. Next up. Quicksilver, I've heard so much about this. Oh, here's a fun story. I am the dumbest human being. I went and bought this book, and then I realized I had like the original, like, what do they call them? Discreet covers. So I have 2 copies now. How nice for me. Are you kidding? We still have Zodiac Academy going. How? How is this possible? What is this, book 9? Okay, what are we definitely still gonna left to see? Something from Scarlett St. Clair, When the Moon Hatched. Something from, is that gold-plated orange series still going? The King Midas one? Apprentice to Villain. Better make it, because that was even better than the first one. Oh, of course. Ren and Holly Library. Like, that was huge. Maybe Laura of the Wilds. Maybe If Feathers Are Black. I don't think Twyla and Frank's gonna make it. The Undermining of Twyla and Frank. It didn't get enough buzz, I don't think, which is sad. I hope that doesn't mean it wasn't as good as the first one, but I don't think it's to make it. All right, let's keep going. The Fate of the Sun King. I'm not into that series yet, so Phantasma! I just read this. Okay, so for people who are like, it's Caraval, it is Caraval with blood. That skull is not kidding. Like, get ready to be haunted. But it was the perfect Halloween read. I did have a great time with it. Apprentice to the Villain, definitely a step up. Enjoyed it so much. Oh, there's the Scarlet St. Clair. I have lost track of this series completely. Oh, the games Gods Play. Does this one count as a special edition? Technically, I did get a personalized signed edition. We'll put it in there and see how bad it gets, but like, we're doing really well. Look how, like, this is the standard edition. Girl's gonna go represent Hades in like a Hunger Games style war thing, and he is just eyeing her up. Like, oh, I love Red Tower so much. They just spoil the heck out of us. There it is, when the moon hatched. Okay, I was like, where are you? I actually was so confident I grabbed it when I was like, my hubris is going to bite me. No, it's not. When the moon hatched. So this is a girl who like was an assassin. She's now in jail, and then a dragon rider who like loses the love of his life, and he now was on like this quest to like heal his heart, and he goes and follows it and meets this girl in prison. So it definitely sounds like a romantasy, but this is like for that description, like, what are y'all doing for all those pages? How romantic is this romantasy? I don't know. I haven't read it. That's why it's in the pile. Okay, Veiled Kingdom. I do not have a special edition of this. Hello, Holly Renee. There it is. We're on gold in the Plated Prisoner series. Have fun. A Dark and Drowning Tide. Yay. Is this romantasy? It doesn't sound like romantasy. This is like, girl goes on an expedition with a bunch of royals. Her like mentor gets murdered on the ship, and then she knows that the only person who definitely didn't do it is her academic rival, who's also on board. And they need to solve all this before they get to this magical spring that the king is sending them to. I guess it's more romantic than I gave it credit for. There's also like, look at it, like it's a little dark academia-y. There's scholars. There's this dark forest filled with beasts, and the forest itself moves. Like, I don't know. I didn't categorize it as romantasy, but all right. And the last one, the Spell Shop. The Spell Shop is fantasy. The Spell Shop's not romantasy. It's cozy fantasy. I know for a fact that like the Travis Baldry one last year, Bookshops and Bone Dust, was in fantasy. Be consistent. It's not romance driven. That sticks out like a sore thumb. Are you kidding? That and Feybound are deeply miscategorized. But I only have 4 books from here to read. Only 3 if I don't count the games Gods Play, depending on how bad the others get. So, okay. All right. I feel better about myself-ish, sort of, kind of, maybe. Fantasy! I even have, like, guesses for this. Yes, I do. Lady Macbeth, Emily Wilde. We know we're going to see that. Evocation, The Phoenix Keeper, probably. Is there a new J. Kristoff? I wrote down a few guesses. The Familiar. Would they have put, if they put the Spell Shop and Romantasy, are they going to snub TJ? They wouldn't snub TJ Klune. He's not YA though. He's adult, so that would have to go here. I assume we're going to see the sequel to the book that can't be burned. So what was that one? The book that burned the world? Oh, and there's a new one out by the author of the witch one. Oh, the witch one. Very good, Kristen. Discovery of Witches. Discovery of Witches. We got there. I am doing great. Thanks. Blackbird Oracle. I don't know if this is the new series or a continuation, but okay. Voyage of the Damned. Oh, I loved it. I just didn't dare to hope that it was going to be on here because I just didn't think it got enough, like, hype. But yay! Okay, next up we have 5 Broken Blades. I do have a special edition. I got the Broken Binding edition, I think. Yeah. And it's signed, so there's no getting out of that one. It's like 5 people come together to like go assassinate the king, but then like only one of them can be the ruler, so like what are you gonna do? I'm like, share equally. We all see what ultimate power does. Okay, ultimate power ultimately corrupts, but I'm fine. I'm fine. Super fine. A Song to Drown Rivers, I just have a regular edition of, and I don't know anything about it. I was just like, pretty. I love the moon. Sometimes my book buying for book of the month days are just like, it's what I do first thing in the morning. I haven't had coffee yet. I just like check my phone. I'm like, books. And It leads to some choices, y'all. The Fox Wife. I heard this was really good, but I think, didn't I hear this was sad? Either way, I don't have a copy. Oh no! A Sorceress Comes to Call! I'm so afraid of this book. This adaptation of The Goose Girl sounds absolutely terrifying. I've never been more afraid of a fairy tale in my life, and this will be my first T. Kingfisher. So I have the, what is this, bookish box edition. It's cute. She's cute, y'all. She's giving Goose Girl, but like, I'm scared of this book. Like, we've got a girl who can like sit still for days, and then she like rides this magical horse or something. That's her only escape, and her mom's a sorceress, and then she goes out and like, one day there's a murder in their town, so they have to flee, and she goes and like lives with this new guy she's gonna marry and his sister, and like, they know it's bad, and oh god. And I say oh god because like, I don't want to know what this picture is showing us. And apparently in the Goose Girl, in the original story, she's like talking to a horse skull that stands in for her dead mommy. I don't wanna, TJ Klune called it, but I don't have a special edition, so I'm safe. Oh, that's creepy. We're calling that fantasy and not horror? A sweet sting of salt, okay. The one... Alright, yeah, no, this is like a really sad... So we've got 1917, a soldier's wounded, and he's struggling to get through the cold with another guy, and they meet up with this fiddler. And as long as they hear his music, they're okay, but it's sort of addicting, and they need it. But as long as they hear his music, like, the terror around them disappears, yay. And then his sister hears her brother's gone missing, and she was a nurse, and she goes to find him, and she hears about the mysterious fiddler who's, like, gifting soldiers oblivion and ghosts moving among the living, like... You get the drift. So, I think this one's going to hurt. Empire of the Damned. I don't think I can do J. Kristoff. Yeah, no, thank you. Emily Wilds and How About the Other Lands. I read this. I loved it. 5 stars. Perfection. The Last Story. We're now putting this in... Didn't they put our last one in fiction? We're now going with fantasy. We hate consistency. Okay, cool. Lee Bardugo, The Familiar, don't have a special edition. I'm afraid of this one because it's like the Spanish Inquisition with magic. Oh, wow, I'm afraid of the Spanish Inquisition. The Night Ends with Fire. I have this. Okay. Night Ends with Fire. Really pretty edition. This is basically like a Mulan retelling, and she's basically like gotta decide who's gonna trust. Sky, the handsome prince she's training with, the sneaky little dragon who's whispering stuff in her ear who's not really there in body but in her mind, or the handsome enemy who's making her question everything she once knew. The Book of Doors. I do want to read this. I do. I don't own it, but I do. When Among Crows. Veronica Roth, why do I know you? She sounds very familiar. Oh, An Academy for Liars. I just thought this was straight up dark academia. I didn't know this was also fantasy. Duly noted. There's the one I haven't heard of. The Tainted Cup. Always One. Always One. Love Grossman. Someone told me this was just bad. Like straight up trash. And I was like, great. And it's huge. It's a retelling of Arthur, but it's about a guy who arrives there who wants to be knight, and he's too late. Battle already took place. Arthur's dead. Now they gotta try and like get it back together, find Excalibur, and save the world. Yay. And lastly, The Dead Cattail Assassins. I remember I heard something about this ages and ages ago, and then I heard nothing ever again. Okay. A surprise to be wait. Lady Macbeth's not in here. I am gonna have a hissy fit. By which I mean sit here and be really annoyed. Because that is all I can muster right now. But you're joking. Oh, I'm so shocked. Oh, and there's no Brandon Sanderson this year. He couldn't have held off one of those projects. The Ren and the Holly Library didn't make it. I know I didn't love it, but like a lot of people did. Wait, Evocation didn't make it. And the Phoenix Keeper didn't make it. Some of these, like, I would not have picked over those. Like, just, wow. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and 4 from the... All right, well, I will know nothing from the science fiction category, except for The Ministry of Time. Okay, I've heard of one, and maybe we'll read one, except I heard it was, like, a mess. I think it's just pure popularity that's dragging it through. And I will know nothing of excuse me. Murder Road! That's right! That should have been in the thrillers, but wait, I read and loved a horror nominee? Didn't I just buy the Book of Witching? In Book of the Hang on. Okay, Murder Road was not horror. Okay, it was not, because I read it and loved it. So you can read that book if you're a big old chicken. Like, bok, 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 I might as well have feathers. Okay, I love debut novels. I will absolutely be pulling any that sound good to me and giving these authors my money because they deserve it. And I love supporting debut authors, and half the time I don't even realize they're debuts. So any of these that sound good, I will be picking them up. Book of Doors. Did not realize that was a debut. Can't wait to read it. All We Are Promised I'll probably pick up. Daughters of Shandong. I don't know what that is. I'll look into it. Bookshops in the title. Getting it. Victim. Sky Full of Elephants. Curious title. Wait, the damned. Did I know that was a... I forgot that was a debut. No. Nope. The Things We Didn't Know. I didn't know about this book. Glorious Exploit of Googly Eyes. I love people. The Truth According to Ember. I'm pretty sure I have this book. So that's nice for me. We used to live here. I used to be happy and sane. The Storm We Made. That's a cover. Shreds. That cover just creeps me out. Is it a cactus? I have killed both cacti and succulents. Do not give me plants. The Ministry of Time. Okay. Murder! Fire Exit. I would like a fire exit in my life. How to End a Love Story was a debut? Okay, I have to read it now. Masquerade. I have no... Do I know this one at all? Those tentacles? Do we have like a Cthulhu thing going on here? Yeah, I know that. I know who that is. My husband is a dungeon master. Not the fun kind. Greta and Velvet. Okay, I'm gonna have to buy you. I like limes. It's a cute cover. Green and pink. Like, it's classic. Audiobook. Eden Garden. I assume that's not a cookbook. That would be weird. Oh, there are some repeats in here. I wonder if they're all repeats? You're a repeat, you're a repeat. I don't know if you are. Now I'm going to have to look at all the categories. Nominee. Don't know. Nominee. Oh, a new version of 1984 Audible original. So that I very much doubt was a nominee. Nominee. Don't know yet. Nominee. So it looks like they're all nominees except for, George Orwell's 1984 is pretty old. Pretty old there. So, I guess some people listen to mostly audio. My husband does. Like men's fantasy. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't have listened to any of these. I guess it's cool. You know what? I hope people love it. Let's see what we got in young adult fantasy. Air is, I think, sitting downstairs waiting to be unboxed. Wisteria! I think there's a special edition sitting downstairs waiting to be unboxed. This is going to be a really bad category for me. Defiant. Okay, that's like book 4 in that series, and I don't have special editions, but Brandon Sanderson did me. There you go. Never mind. The man is unstoppable. Forget it. For She Is Wrath. Don't I have a special edition of that coming too? Book boxes, do you communicate with Goodreads? This is the category where you just got together and were like, we're going to sabotage Kristen. What was that voice? Where the Dark Stands, still I don't have a special edition of. Hang on. Okay. The Darkness Within Us. This is in the same world as Trisha Levenseller's other book, The Shadows Between Us. Yeah. This is about her sister who's mad that her sister suddenly looks like she's doing better. And now that her husband finally croaked, his supposed, grandson has shown up. Or grandson. I don't know. The guy was pretty old. A strange grandson, yes, has shown up and is like, hey, guess what? This should all belong to me. Enemies to lovers. magic, lust. If I recall correctly, everything was super fade to black, and that's why I didn't love the first book, so we'll see. It is in the YA category for a reason, I imagine. What else? Of Jade and Dragons. For the love of God. Do I just not read YA anymore? Is this a sign to stop buying YA? Of Jade and Dragons. Didn't pick this one up either. So girl disguises herself as her brother so she can go learn to be an engineer at the palace. Develops a relationship with the prince, and I still don't understand where the dragons come in because they're engineers. Confused. Next, Dragon Fruit. There's the one I've never heard of. Immortal Dark. I don't have that one, I don't think. Okay, apparently Immortal Dark is coming from Owl Crate, so oh good. Next. Heartless Hunter, also known as the Crimson Moth. Girl pretending to be vapid socialites. By night, she is the Crimson Moth, trying to help her society after a revolution. Of course, there are witch hunters after her, and to throw up their scent, she decides to court Gideon, who is a high-ranking, notoriously unforgiving one. He, however, finds her a little sus. I have been wanting to read this book. This table's covered. You can't see it because the camera will not focus on me, but oh God. Okay, next, Reckless. I haven't started the series. Just I'm starting to panic here. I'm starting to panic. Next, Ruth. I don't want to finish the series. I said it. I don't like how the second book left off. I gave it 5 stars. I don't want to finish the series because I don't want the series to be over, and I'm scared where it's going to go, and I know I'm going to cry, and I am not in a place where I can read something remotely resembling World War II right now at all. So, it's looking like the thrillers are the way we're going. Don't get along with Holly Black. Not gonna let the forest in. Don't have a copy of it. Oh God, I have a copy of this one, and I'm scared of it because it's about a girl who finds like a boy chained up in her basement. Apparently he just dies for her family over and over and over again, and his sacrifice is needed for her family's power or something. Cursed estate. It just sounds awful. Like, gosh, okay. The Invocations! Well, there's the one I haven't heard of, but I have heard of Crystal Sutherland. Wait, no, I think I have heard of that. Poisons We Drink. I did not love this book. I loved the concepts. I loved all the details. I loved everything about it, the writing, and I just, not friends, all this twisted glory. I have missed out on this entire series, but gosh, that is a gorgeous cover. Where the Library Hides. I get to order this in 2 days. And I gave up on this series. I just did not enjoy the first book. Okay. Reader's favorite YA fiction. I'm not going to know anything on here, so we're going to go through this really quickly and see if I do know anything. Oh, Lynn Painter's still going totally cool. Where Sleeping Girls Lie. You know what? This did feel pretty YA. I preferred Ace of Spades so much. Such a shame. Heartstopper, please don't end. Gwen and Art Are Not in Love. I really want to read. I'm trying to find a King Arthur retelling that I love. That being said, the next in whatchamacallit's coming out, Legendborn. Drama looks hilarious. I do want to read Death at Morning House because I really enjoyed Maureen Johnson. I liked her Truly Devious series quite a lot, so that was a lot of fun. I don't think I want to go any further with Jennifer Lynn Barnes, though. I did not love that. And the reappearance of Rachel Price was pretty good by Holly Jackson. Not as good as A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I love Pip so much. The show was kind of not it, but that's okay. Nonfiction. Do I recognize anything? So this is really curious. They have nonfiction, memoir, and then history and biography. So I kind of really like that breakdown, actually, because how do you like judge something like here, I have this One in a Millennial next to like a really serious history book. Such different audiences are reading for those two things. Breaking up those audiences is so smart, I think. Like Disney High, like that sounds so good, but then I'm gonna go look at the really depressing history stuff, and like those two things deserve to be judged very separately. So I'm really, then again, we also have The Kingdom, the Power, and the Glory, American Evangelicals in an Age of Extremism. So that's a little different too. But I think we're on a good trajectory. If you get One in a Millennial, by the way, that CD on the front, it is like holographic. Is that the word I'm looking for? Metallic. Rainbowy. Doing great. Favorite memoir. Are there any I want to read? The Third Gilmore Girl. I do want to read. I really, really do. Oh, poor this Janie. Sociopath, a memoir. That sounds fun. Okay. Oh, and Elvis one. Didn't know that was coming out. Wanted, toddler's personal assistant. It's called Being a Mommy. Nope, nannying. Oh. And let's see what the history and biography section is. Oh, Marie Curie, the Kennedys, and the women they just destroyed. The Demon of Unrest. Not Your China Doll. I really want to read that. Ugh. When Women Ran Fifth Avenue. Glamour and Power. Buying that one. The Bookshop, A History of the American Bookstore. That sounds so good. American Scary, A History of Horror from Salem to Stephen King and me. Wow, you can stay behind your cover. Oh, yes, you can. Nexus. Wait, if you're by that's Sapiens, right? A Brief History of Information Networks from the Stone Age to AI. Are they calling one another on telephones? No, I'm kidding. Okay. Do you ever look at these categories and just realize that maybe you should be reading different things? But that's all for me. This was the Goodreads Choice Awards. So thank you so much for joining me. And I'm kind of shocked by some of the stuff that they didn't put in and some of the stuff they did. And I definitely disagree with some of the categories. I think I've had enough fantasy for a while. I think I'm going to go thriller, which is shocking, unless you shout stop, no, don't in the comments, because I know this is usually a fantasy channel, but I am fantasied out. I wouldn't mind some nice, fast, easy reads, because let's face it, when I read the vast majority of these books, I know I'm starting more series. And how many more series do I really want to read? Or I'm going to be crying finishing series like this. And I don't think I can handle it right now, if we're being really, 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 really honest. Unless you have serious opinions about very specific books that I need to read to form my opinions before voting. Like if there's a book you're going, oh my God, you're gonna love that so much more than The Spell Shop or Fate Inked in Blood or whatever. If you're like screaming at the screen right now, personal recommendations are different than me just blindly trying to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 fantasy books, 16, 17, whatever fantasy books in however much time I have. I am really bitter about Lady Macbeth and shocked that the evocation is not here. I'm really sad for Ruth Ware. A little surprised, not that surprised Catherine Steadman didn't make it actually. A little surprised Megan Miranda didn't make it. And Ren and Holly Library. Like, I didn't love it, but everybody else I thought did. And I'm kind of shocked that Fragile Enchantment didn't make it, but Alison Stapp did get A Dark and Drowning Tide in here. So, and that is the most recent one that's freshest in people's minds. So I guess that makes sense. And The Spell Shop's in the wrong category, as is Feybound. I will be filming my voting live on the last day we have to vote, so I can cram in as many of these as I can. Will I be reading them on cold medication? Yes, this could be a very interesting voting situation. Won't it be fun for everyone to watch? Yes, it will. Okay, see you next time, guys. I love you all. Bye.